come to chapter 9 of Revive by His Word, chapter 9 of 2nd Chronicles. I think today we are going to end about Solomon and his reign. Here in chapter 9 we find the Queen of Sheba visiting Solomon. The fame of Solomon has gone beyond his territory. It had touched the Queen of Sheba from Ethiopia. And in verse 9, in verse 1, chapter 9 says, "And when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon, she came to prove Solomon with hard questions at Jerusalem, with a very great company, and the camels that bear spices and the gold in abundance, and the precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart." For here in verse 1, we are told that the Queen of Sheba was not alone, but she came with a great company of people accompanying her, and there were gifts or presents to present to the king Solomon, which were carried by camels or asses in a great abundance, just to present to the King Solomon. The question this morning is, how far is your fame? Does your character testify of what you are beyond your neighbors, that you are known of your character? Can you compare your character with that of Solomon, that everyone is amazed to hear of your name and they are desirous to know you or to meet you, as Queen of Sheba wanted to see Solomon? And in verse 2 it says, "And Solomon told her all her questions, and there was nothing hid from Solomon which he told her not." So God revealed everything to Solomon. Any hard question he answered to the queen, that it was nothing hid from him. That's what we learned from verse 2, that she was satisfied. She got answers from all her questions. And verse 3 says, "And when the Queen of Sheba had seen the wisdom of Solomon and the house that he had built," this is interesting. Here we learn another thing. That is the house of the king. It was a special house. And again, the dressing of the servants of Solomon, it was an interesting thing. And the food that was set on the table, it was an interesting thing. It was something to watch, something to admire. The way the food was prepared and dressed, the way the servants sat, the way every decorum that was of catching the eye, even the way Solomon went up to worship. The queen admired it, how he walked when he entered the house of worship. How do you enter the house of worship? Do you just go there? Do people see that today you are going for worship? Or there is no difference? You are going to a party, you are going to work, it makes no difference. But here the Queen of Sheba recognized something that was not in her own country, that the king approached the house of worship in a different manner, and his house was an orderly house and beautiful. The servants, the setting up, it was different. So she praised that. Then verse 5 says, that caught my eye, and she said to the king, "It was a true report which I heard in mine own land of thine acts and of thy wisdom." The lady confirms that she was not deceived, and her visit is worthy. Really, will people say it was worthy to meet you? Will people say really what they said about you, it is true? We have in the New Testament the people that were assigned to follow Jesus. When they came back, they were asked, they said, no man spake like that. That was their testimony. They said, no man spake like that. That exceeded their expectation. That which they were sent to do, they failed to accomplish because no man spake like that. And one lady, when she saw Jesus, she said, blessed is the woman that gave you supper. Blessed are her priests. She could say nothing but to bless the woman that carried Jesus on her womb and who gave suckling to Jesus. Because what she saw in Jesus, she never saw it from anyone. And he was a man to be admired. So that's exactly the Queen of Sheba is saying here in verse 7. She says, happy are thy men, and happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and hear thy wisdom. What do people say about you? Do they say the same thing as of Solomon? That blessed are the people that surround you. Blessed are your family for having you. Do people say that about you? This is what the Queen of Sheba said. This is what the lady said about Jesus. This is what the man said about Jesus to those that sent him. They were confessing that they are not deceived. There is no man that could speak like Jesus. There is no man who is like Jesus. That's what they were confirming. And here the lady, the Queen of Sheba, is saying the same. I'm not deceived, Solomon, because what I have seen is not the half of what they told me, for it exceeded what I've been told. I've seen it by my own eye. I'm always saying, I'm giving you the pieces, just slices. The whole loaf is before you. It's up to you to take it. You may read to the finish and hear about the gold that Solomon accumulated, that to him silver was just like stones, yet to you and me silver is so precious. But to Solomon is referred as just stones because of the abundance. It shows how rich the man was. And they say there was no king who was rich or wise as Solomon. Can that be said about you? For the Bible says, here is this one is a recommendation or is a testimony about Solomon, that there was none like him. Like the Bible says, there was no one meek as the servant of the Lord, Moses. So, can we have such a testimony from heaven, that there is none like you? May God bless the reading of his word as we commune on it in this morning.